things that you might have missed out on whilst you were catching up on some all important sleep. Because let's face it, whilst you and I need sleep, the whole world needs sleep. The world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other going on in the background, and it can be a little challenging to keep abreast of every single little development. But worry not, that's what we're here for. Let's start off this edition of the Morning Wrap, the first one of this particular week, with an update on Virat Kohli's fitness. Now, we remember that after scoring a rather slow 50 in the match against the Mumbai Indians, Kohli did not, in fact, come out to field and was seen seated in the dugout wearing a jacket, and it was said on air that it was an ankle issue. Now, Rajat Patidar, the RCB skipper, confirmed after the match that I don't know yet what his injury status was, but I think that he's feeling okay right now, which should be a positive bit of news considering the fact that RCB do have some key games coming up, and more importantly, basically means that any layoff should be either non-existent or very, very minimal. However, one particular team that have been actually getting the wrong end of the stick has been the Mumbai Indians. Remember, this is the same Mumbai Indians that have in fact been looking for form even after their first match win in this particular season. They haven't really been able to find any form. They've lost 3 games in the trot since. And Hardik Pandya, the skipper, has basically admitted that listen, it might be time to actually look at changes. He said that the team want to explore their options because whatever it is that they're doing obviously isn't quite working right now. Meanwhile, his brother Krunal, who happened to be playing on the other side and who actually even dismissed Hardik in the early goings of the game on the later parts, has basically come out and backed the impact player rule, saying that listen, previously you would have a very basic batting lineup. Now with the impact player rule, you can go up to like 8 pure batters. You're seeing a lot of young players getting that opportunity to actually go out there and just swing for the fences from ball one. It's very interesting considering most players have come out and said that they're not fans of it, especially all-rounders. But Krunal, who himself is an all-rounder, has basically given his backing saying, no, it's giving players opportunities, it's giving teams the chance to be more attacking. Meanwhile, Gujarat Titans wicketkeeper and former England captain Josh Butler has also come out and maintained that one of the reasons that his poor form was abound in recent times, particularly during the T20 World Cup, was due to issues that had crept in, bad habits that had crept in, technical habits into his batting. He also said that taking some time away from the game is what helped him actually get his form back on track. And his form has been back on track. He's looked a much better batter for GT than he did throughout the World Cup campaign for England. Despite the fact that England made the semis, Butler was definitely not one of the main contributing factors to that. Meanwhile, in IPL action later today, you've got SRH taking on the Rajasthan Royals. It is a battle really of one team that has only been winning versus a team that has only won one game. So who exactly can emerge, victorious in this particular case? RR will be looking to make it 5 wins in the trot. SRH will be looking to get their second win of the season and first at home. Switching focus now from the world of cricket to sports beyond that, Manchester City delivered a statement victory as their title run as such, or their hunt continued because they beat Chelsea 3-0. And what it's done is that it's in essence given them a 6 point gap to Arsenal. That might seem like a lot, but City not only have a game in hand, they will also be taking on Arsenal next, and that too at their own home stadium, the Etihad Stadium. Should they win that match, it will be 3 points with the game in hand, and win the game in hand, they'll be level on points and potentially ahead on goal difference. So that could be a massive, massive swing, considering that Arsenal have been seen as the favourites all year. At the other end of the table, Tottenham Hotspur, a side that is seen as one of the big six sides in England due to their revenue generation and little else, well, they ended up suffering a 1-0 loss to Sunderland away from home. And what that does is put them firmly in the relegation zone. They are now in 18th position, and as things stand, if the league would end right now, they would in fact be relegated to the second division, the championship. And speaking of that particular result, the new manager Roberto De Zerbi has basically admitted that his role at this point in time is not to make tactical changes to Spurs, but to try and change their mentality, which makes sense because if you look at some of the players that Spurs have, they should be in a relegation scrap right now. But the mentality has been so poor; they haven't won a league game in this calendar year. That confidence is at this point exactly nosedive and is through the floor. So for Desabi, the main challenge will not be tactical; it'll be mental. Meanwhile, in tennis news, Yannick Sinner beat Carlos Alcaraz in the Monte Carlo Masters final. That was a pretty star-studded affair. Saw a lot of sporting fans or sports personalities from elsewhere come to watch. And the win not only gave him his fourth straight Masters crown, but it also saw him regain the world number one ranking from Carlos Alcaraz. Interesting timing, really, for this particular loss to come for Carlitos when you consider that the next Grand Slam that is being built up to is, in fact, the French Open. Last bit of news before we call it quits. R. Vaishali had lost to Jeaner Zhu in round 12 of the women's candidates, and the title race is now opened up because both Vaishali and Zhu are now tied at the top. Divya Deshmukh, the other person who could potentially have been in the title run, unfortunately lost. And what that means is that she'll miss out on the chance to even have a podium spot, never mind win the candidates. So that's it from us in this edition of the Morning Wrap. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, if you enjoy our work, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us too on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook, and stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.